Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adewale Onagbesan, and I want to believe that you can hear me. So, I've been invited by Sola to come talk about, discuss, and facilitate a session on the heart of CV writing. All right. So, first, my sincere apologies for joining you guys late. Network issues here and there, but thank God we are here. So we'll just get straight to it, and then we can see how far we can go. I hope my voice is a bit better. Please, anyone can let me know.
Yes, sir, it's clear now, sir.
All right, thank you so much. So when we talk about CV writing, it is one of the most important, aspect of your career and professional life as a young professional. So many times, most especially for guys who are in STEM. I mean, you guys are always, especially the tech brothers, the tech guys. You guys are always, I mean, your professional life is not all about the technical skills, the hard skills that you have. You know, your professional life is well portrayed by um, some other skills that you have. I mean, the soft skills and how well you can analyze and show forth these skills. You know, you can have great skills that can make you employable, but it's another thing for you to be able to communicate these skills to an employer. So when we talk about CV review, it's about the art of crafting a CV review entails the process by which you can, um, show your skills, show your competence, show your accomplishment, show results that you have acquired in the course of your endeavors, be it your corporate career, be it entrepreneurship, be it even your education. All right. The ability for you to be able to put all of these things in a document in a concise, action driven format. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about is the resume and the CV. I mean, many times you get the question, what's the difference between a resume and a CV? So the difference is, it's just pretty straightforward. A resume is an abridged version of your CV. The resume is an abridged version of your CV. All right. Usually a page. All right. Your resume is basically a page document stating your education, stating your experience, stating your skills. You know, so that's basically. But your CV can, of course, be 2 to 3 pages. You know, being an extensive and a bit comprehensive, a bit comprehensive document stating your education, stating your skills, stating your experience, stating your leadership skills, stating your volunteering experience, and every other thing that is required. So now, the first thing that you need to do before you write a CV is not just to get on your system and begin to write or begin to collect samples. No, the first thing you have to do is to sit down and think through all of your experiences, think through all of your educational accomplishments, think through all of your volunteering activities, think through times you have been able to display leadership competencies. So that's the first thing you should actually do. Get a notepad and a pen and begin to put all of these things down. So that's the first thing you should do. Then the next thing you should do afterwards is for you to have an enhanced writing of your CV. You might want to go back to your emails. All right. I mean, your email would have records of some things that you have done. You want to check your notepads on your phone. Things where you have documented your activities, where you have documented your experiences I mean, you probably want to go through all of that. I remember one time when I wanted to, write my own CV, what I had to do was to go back to my email address when my activities on my email, started, and then begin to look at the things that I've done that I can't even remember as far back as 2010, 11, 12, and from that time. So you might want to also do the same by going back to, you know, to check your email, to to look into your notepad, to look into your document. Um, so you might want to do that first. Another thing you might want to do is to, uh, you know, look into maybe your file at home to check certifications that you have received in the course of a particular training that you have done, or even your email as well. For instance, there are some online courses you might have done, so you want to document that in your CV or your resume. So you want to go back into your file at home and uh, check all of those things. I mean, the relevant ones to the role you are trying to apply for. Now, the CV or the resume, of course, is part of your job search process. Of course, in addition to that, you want to also have your cover letter, and then, of course, prepare for your interviews. But of course, the first thing is your CV, because your CV gets you into the room, or your resume as well, gets you into the room before you even talk about you want to do interview and convince, an HR person. So you want to write or craft a winning CV that will put you in the room. And also, I might have to mention that, you can have what we call solicited and unsolicited application. So it is not only when an organization put out, job notice that you want to apply. I have seen people who have applied for roles that were not even advertised and they got it. I once had somebody who got a job at ICO, in their finance department, and this person just wrote directly to the head of finance, and then of course I'll just briefly talk about how that is done. So rather than the person taking the application, to the office, he sent it via a courier service, or a delivery agent, and then in that case, when you send an application, a written application to a particular person through a courier service, what happens is that that application is taken directly to the person, because many organizations already are given their security guys, the order. Once you bring an application yourself, they just tell the guy to keep it somewhere or just, trash it, But if you package it and send it to a courier service, you can be sure that that package or that application will get to the right hand, because the security guy has no choice but to take it directly to the person, because he or she does not even know what the content of that application is. So you can send unsolicited application, but what will get you in the room, whether it is solicited or unsolicited application, is a well-crafted CV or resume. So what are the things that you need to know before we get into this proper? And the first thing you need to know is that your resume, is not a job description, and it is not just alone, it's not just alone the summary of everything you have ever done in your life. A good resume, is more or less like a pointer to where you are going. I mean, talking about your prospect, talking about your career interest, you know, um, it helps you to link your past experience with the current job you are trying to seek. The second thing you need to note is that employers want to know that you are capable of what they need. Now, um, gone are the days where people are going to employ you because they want to necessarily believe in you. Now employers are looking for results, so they want to be sure that you are capable of doing that. A number of persons are not interested in trusting or believing that you deliver. Have you delivered? Have you ever delivered? So all of these are well portrayed in your resume or your CV. Now, the next thing is that they want to also, see competence. And this competence is displayed in your behavior, is displayed in your technical skills, is displayed by your level of thinking and decision-making process. So they want to be sure also that you are competent enough to deliver on the job. And the next thing you have to take note of with respect to crafting a resume or your CV is to adopt what I call the PARS method. The PARS method, the PARS method. The PARS method means number P there talks about the problem you have solved. People are looking for problem solvers. The problem you have solved. 2, the A now, action that you took while solving that problem. R there, the result, while solving that problem. And then S there is what are the skills that you gained while solving the problem. So writing your resume, you must portray the PARS, the PARS. P there is the problem you solved. A is the action that you took while solving the problem. R is the result, and of course, the S there talks about the skills that you gain while solving the problem. Now, another thing you need to take note of is that in writing your CV or your resume, what comes first aside your name, your email, your phone number, your LinkedIn URL on the top is your education. I'm going to project my screen very soon. So is your education, all right? So you want to after your details, you want to talk about your education, and of course, while doing that, you want to include, your undergraduate studies, your master's degree, programs you studied abroad, your professional designations. You want to also include the date when the degrees were received, academic distinctions, first class, 2-1. And I want to advise that anything less than 2-1 should not be stated in your CV. All right. You don't have to put the GPA. It is not necessary. It is not necessary. Just is it a first class? Is it a second class upper? Just leave it at that. Then after all of your educations and all of your certifications and all of your abroad programs that you have done, you want to go to your experience, your work experience, which is the core of your resume. All right. Now, of course, the first thing you do is to start from the most recent experience. You start with the most recent experience, your employer name, the position you held, your job title, the date of the employment. All you just need to put is the year 2021 to 2022. You don't have to put December, whatever, or all of that. That is not necessary. Just put the years 2021, 2022, 2020 to 2021. So you want to also put your duties and your core accomplishments. All right. Now, don't forget that when you are stating your core accomplishments, you are not stating your job description. But this is one of the mistakes that a lot of people make. When stating their core accomplishment, what they put there is to put their job description. No, what you are stating there is your core accomplishment, stated using the PASS method. All right. Then after that, of course, this core accomplishment should be in bullet points, from the most important to the most relevant to the least relevant. And it doesn't have to be too much. 2 or 3 is enough. Bullet points is enough. Now, there is no way you want to show results in stating your accomplishment if you don't quantify it. You want to quantify it. All right. Say, for instance, I led a team of 8 people to to address organization inefficiency, which increased companies' revenue by say 40%. So you led a team, right, of 8 people to address organization inefficiency. And what was the result? It increased organization revenue by 40%. That is a good way of stating your core accomplishment. All right. So you do that, for every experience that you have. And don't also forget that your NYSC is also an experience, because many times some people exclude their NYSC role, from the CV. Don't forget that many organizations or many HR in Nigeria, have the mandate to, employ, people who must have gone through the mandatory NYSC program. So you want to state your NYSC experience clearly. All right. So it's also an experience, by the way. All right. Whether an internship or whether it is, a volunteering, they are all experiences that you should state. Now, another thing you want to do while stating your accomplishment is to state them using industry, action words. Industry action words, verbs that better describe, the work that you do in your industry. State, for instance, if you are a teacher, the verbs you will be using would include, words like I taught, coached, tutored, mentored, you know, guided. These are the words you'll be using as a teacher or as a tutor, right? So, because those are the key verbs that matter to the teaching industry. Same also for every other industry. I mean, you are into business development or management. You want to use keywords like researched, because there's no way you are into business development or business management or even managerial roles that you would not be involved with research. So you want to say you researched, um, you managed, you led, because of course, if you're in managerial role, you're going to lead teams. All right. I mean, it's even a common thing in most of the top fours, for instance, KPMG. They always group into teams to execute a project. So you want to talk about the fact that you led a team or you're part of a team. So managed, researched, led, these are the work you want to begin to build. You budgeted, you assigned, you analyzed, you addressed, you administered, you accelerated, you assessed, you assisted, you authorized, you briefed, you conveyed, you composed, you communicated, you collaborated, you combined, uh, you defined, you decided, demonstrated, educated, effected a change, enhanced, encouraged, employed. Those are the verbs you want to begin to use in analyzing your core accomplishments. And this verb matters in stating your core accomplishments. All right. Um, so I'm going to. I'm sorry, I have issues with my laptop. I don't know why it's not coming up, but I will just try and um, just a moment, please. So I'd like to share my screen. Sorry, are you with me? Can anyone just signify if you are with me, please?
Yeah, with you, sir.
All right, thank you. So all of these things that I've said are very important in putting your CV, in place, or your resume. Now, also another thing you need to be careful about is the fact that you might have a lot of experiences, work experience now, and you have a lot of work experiences. You need to be careful not to, use the same CV for every role you are applying for. You must ensure that you tweak your CV to um, the requirement of that particular role. So don't use the same CV for every job role. Do not use the same CV for every job role. All right. So you must be able to tweak your CV to the relevant needs of every job you're trying to apply for. So that's one thing to know. Two, you need to also note if a job is requiring you to submit a resume or a CV. So if you have a CV and they ask for a resume, you might want to prune out things that are not necessary so that you can shorten the number of pages you have in your CV. Another thing for you to note is, which a lot of people also fail at, is an HR may ask you to submit your CV either in um, document format or PDF format. Microsoft document or PDF format. You must look out for that. But in the case where it is not specified, you should submit a PDF format. But if it's specified as submit a Word document, sure, in most job roles or job adverts, they tell you to submit either Word document or PDF. So you have to look out for that, because these are basic things that might keep you disadvantaged, and you wonder why. Many times I see people on Twitter going to drag Ogbeni Dukpo. uh, he wrote CV and they didn't get the job. A CV does not get you the job. A CV only gets you into the room, the interview room, to defend yourself. Then the interview, how far you perform, uh, gets you the job. So a CV is just one step towards getting your dream job. It doesn't get you the job automatically. The only point where a CV gets you the job is if your dad is the MD of the company. Just tell you to submit the CV for formality's sake. All right. So a CV does not get you the job. A CV only gets you into the room. So it's important not just to have a good CV or a winning CV. It's also important for you to follow the directions given. I want to share my screen just a moment so I can show you a sample of a CV and how you can go about crafting your CV. And just to say, your date of birth, state of origin, marital status, and all of those things are not necessary in your CV. They are not important in your CV. So if you have a CV that has all of that, you might want to go review it by taking out your state of origin, your marital status, um, the date of birth, local government of origin, all of those things. So you might want to take them out. They are not necessary in your CV. And also, another thing you might want to research on before writing your CV is, let's take, for instance, you are applying for um, a data, analyst role, for instance. So you might want to check out for um, core skills, right? Core skills required of a data analyst. So you might want to check that, to look at those skills and then begin to fine tune them into your experiences. So, uh, if for instance you are applying for a teaching role and you want to check out for skills, core skills of a teacher or a tutor, one of them would be something like classroom management. So you might also want to check first before you begin to write your CV that what are the skills that makes um, that makes you employable for the role you are trying to apply for before you begin to write your CV. The reason why you need to do this research is because you don't want to start and then you are stopped. Because many times writing a CV is not just or reviewing a CV, crafting a CV, whatever, is not just it's just to write. Because many times I see people online just trying to drag Ogben Dikpo for one thing or they don't drag me anyways. So, but many times they drag him. Is it not just to do this and that's why you are charging this amount of money? No, it's not just that, because everything needs to be in sync. So you want to properly do your research before you know before starting writing your CV, so you can have a smooth process while writing your CV. All right. Um, so please, these little tips are very important in writing and reviewing your CV. And it is advisable that you review your CV depending on how much you get to engage in activities. It's advisable to review your CV every 6 months so that you can keep track of your activities. But then in general terms, it's important for me to also mention this before I go to the CV thing, that um, there are some basic skills that are important for you to acquire, all right, as a young professional. And um, these skills matter in your job career process. And when we talk about these skills, I'm talking about skills classified. I'm talking about transferable employability skills that are classified into both hard and soft skills. All right. Of course, the reason why I'm also talking about these skills is because you want to, like I said earlier, showcase these skills in your CV or your resume. Skills, for instance, like information technology. Are you tech savvy? Digital marketing, depending on the role you are applying for. In short, we see a lot of roles right now that people are beginning to merge 2 or 3 roles together. Ability to use social media tools, ability to do this and that. So you want to be sure that you have all of these skills, computer application, social media management, sales, leadership, people management, conflict management, business analysis, competitive strategies. You have this competitive capacity. All right. So a lot of companies want to look at that as well. Analytics, strategy, project management, multitasking, numeracy skills. Are you good with numbers? Those hard skills are very, very important. Soft skills like creative, critical, and strategic thinking, complex problem solving, collaboration and interpersonal skills, adaptability and self management, time management and punctuality. Some people can be terrible, late comers, even to their wedding. You probably want to showcase, these skills. Other skills include communication, persuasion, negotiation, responsibility, personal development. Like many of you are doing, you are here right now trying to, develop your personal skills. These are the things that employers look out for. Presentation and public speaking. Some people cannot even stand in front of their own friends to just talk. So people looking out for presentation skills, um, people looking out for public speaking skills, and these are things you need to uh, to build. All right. Other skills include emotional intelligence, teamwork and leadership, personal effectiveness, resilience, stress tolerance. Can you work under stress? That is a common thing in Nigeria. Flexibility, your social influence. How influential are you? You know, like we have many influencers on the internet, on social media platforms. So people also want to look at how influential are you in influencing your community, to expanding the reach of your company. Okay, I'm about sharing my screen now. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Um, so I'll just take us through how you can work on your CV, and then everybody can go back to do their CV. And also, I would for those who are here right now, I can see about 6 persons. Reach out to Gbemisola. I don't know if Gbemisola is here. When you guys review your CV, I can create time to be kind enough to help you guys review it. So if after this session you review your CV, you can forward it to me. I'll be kind to help you guys review it and keep it intact.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Can everyone see my showing a CV?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is how a CV looks like, or a resume rather. Of course, it's the same thing for a CV. So you want to start with your education. After your name on top, your email, your LinkedIn, your phone number on the top. It's just a sample for you guys to use. So then you have your education. This person, for instance, did Harvard Business School course online program. He's still doing it. So it is written as 2022 to present. If it's still ongoing, just put to present. There's nothing like in view. Just put 2022 to present. All right. So in 2021, he did a course at Cambridge. In 2019, he did a course at Harvard Business School. In 2015, he did a course at Darden Business School, certificate in business strategy. And then, of course, the last education experience that is there is bachelor's degree. All right. So the date on the left side, 2008 to 2013, the name of the institution in bold, Lagos. Then the address of the school on the right side, on the same line, Akoka, Lagos. Then the title of the degree, BSc Economics. Now, you move to experience. On the left-hand side, you have the date, 2022 to 2022, the name of the company, EMAT Alliance, and of course, the address of the company follows. So you talk about the brief description of management company. So they manage travels, they manage tours, they manage MB&B. All right, so that's what they do. So what was this person's role? He was just a consultant. That would be bold and italic. It was a consultant. So now he wants to talk about your core accomplishments as a consultant. And you can see how I stated it there. Researched and developed. You cannot just develop something. You have to, there has to be a process. You can't just develop something. Research. All right. And research is robust. All right. So researched and developed. You can see that it is a verb, in past tense. Action word, researched, that are tailored to the industry or the company or the role. Researched and developed a strategic operational plan. All right. So what did that do? What was the result? Or what problem did it solve? That mitigated the possibility of underproductivity. That is, what this person is saying, that with the strategic and operation plan that he has done, the possibility of having an underproductive company has been reduced by 90%. So it has to be quantified too. You want to see the numbers. Because when you submit a CV and a resume and they put it into ATS software, the ATS software, if they do not see all of these things, you will just dump your CV to the back. So they want to see results, they want to see action, they want to see problems solved. All right. And they want to see the skills too. The skills here is research. Research is a skill. All right. Then the next point there, he said, managed the recruitment, team onboarding, and orientation process that checked on clarity regarding the job role. Some people can take up a job and they can take up a job role and they are not even clear about what they need to do on the job. And then he said he facilitated key partnerships with major travel companies like Wakana that ensured takeoff preparedness by 80%. You know, so of course, the same thing for another job role. In another 2022, the date on the left, the company followed, and then the address of the company. What does the company do? It is a fintech that facilitates cross-border payments using blockchain technology. And what was his role there? What did he do? His accomplishments. Number one, he developed a business plan and strategic mainframe that improved performance by 35% and revenue by 45%. You know, another thing he did was he facilitated. You can see the verbs and they are in past tense because he has done it, not he can do it. All right, that's what they are looking out for. You have done it, not I can do it. Facilitated formidable client relationship that increased the customer base by 50%. You know, problem, action, result, skills. Another thing he did was managed interactions with international money transfer organizations that reduce failed service process. Many of you use your duty app or your Zenith money and it fails. Sometimes they debit you and they don't even see the money. All right. So this person has solved the problem here. And these are the kind of things that organizations are looking out for. Of course, the next job role, which is still ongoing, 2021 till present. Yes, it is possible for you to be on many jobs at the same time. Yes, it's possible. And you just have to state it there. Especially if you are an entrepreneur, you are self-employed, you know. 2021 to the present, the company there, the address is there. What does they do? The organization that provides operational and strategic transitions to companies and stakeholders. He is a chief executive officer and a co-founder. What did he do? He directed the company to acquire 20% equity in Rapid Pay, which is a fast-growing fintech company in Lagos. And what did that do? It enhanced the company growth. The second thing he did there was currently incubating 5 tech startups in Nigeria to address the challenge of viability, funding, and technical support and reduce business failure by 30%. Another thing he did was orchestrate the development of strategy, policies, and procedures that yield successful business outcomes. So, in doing all of this, you have to, you have to use keywords. I mean, the next one, he said he led a team of over 20 employees and oversaw daily operations that improved the company's revenue by 40% monthly since inception. He also served as a global manager for the Copy Foundation. And what did he do? He managed an inaugural event and gala that helped to raise up to $13 million, which enhanced overall performance of the organization. He also initiated and close partnerships with credible non-profits such as Save the Children UK and the Royal Commonwealth Society of Africa. They have provided child protection, education for girls, and persons with disability to over 9,000 people. So, I mean, and then after your work experience, you want to talk about your leadership skills, you want to talk about your mentoring ability, you want to talk about your volunteering skills. These are what should be in your CV. All right. These are what should be in your CV. Okay. How can we get that? Can I get a response?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well understood, sir.
All right. So, um, So I mean that is it. So like I said, everyone can go back to work on their CV. Don't forget, the first thing you have to do is to state your name, email, LinkedIn URL, and your phone number, followed by your education, followed by your experience, followed by your leadership, mentorship, and volunteering experience as well. When you do all of that, I mean, and then you can be sure that you have a CV that can get you into the room. So I wouldn't want to take our time much more than this. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to. Yeah. Any question, please? Any question? Olowo laye mo, Oluwatimileyin.
No question for now, sir.
All right. Israel Eric, any question? Jonathan, any question? Adeleke Victor Ayomide, any question?
No question, sir. I don't have a question.
All right. So we can all go back and work on our CV, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when you do that, you can reach out to Bimisoda, and then she can forward your CV to me. I can help you guys.
All
I
right,
hope you
sir.
get that, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much for the time.
All right, sir. Please, can we connect to you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. You can connect with me. My name is Adewale Onagbesan on LinkedIn.
Okay, all right, sir. We sent a connection request now.
All right.
Thank you very much for the class, sir.
All right. I will gladly accept.
All right.